here's a quick little tutorial. We're going to try to figure out how to get our drawing into ProCreate and then how to change the backgrounds a little bit. So first of all, what you're going to need to do is get a good quality photograph of your drawing. So here's a drawing Mrs. Bartlett did. Something you might do while you're in this screen is edit slightly. I'm going to say, I'm just going to adjust some of the color contrast here a little bit. And I'm going to just sort of change the brightness here a little bit. I'm going to work on the contrast a little bit. There we go, like that. I'm going to go back to my contrast. I'm trying to lighten up that background just a little bit. And again, if you know a lot about this sort of stuff, you can mess around with these things a little bit. I don't want to bog you down too much in here, but I'm just trying to get that line so that it's fairly dark in there. I'm going to say done. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my other assets together. So for me, I think I'm going to do a lot of drawing on here, but I also wanted to use this PlayStation logo that I'm going to put in the background of my drawing. All right, so to do that, you're going to head out to Safari, and you're going to search what you're looking for. Now, anything that has a white background on it, a regular background, sort of like this, is going to be a blue rectangle like that, right? Or something like this, or this is going to have a black background. If you're lucky enough to find something like this is called a PNG. This is something where you can see the background is checkerboarded. And what that means is that the only thing that is part of this drawing is the solid P and then the S in the background and the word PlayStation. Everything that's a checkerboard is actually invisible. So, as you look down here, I can see this PlayStation circle here is invisible. There's this here. So when you search for something, when you say PlayStation logo, I might say PlayStation logo PNG. There we go. And then what PNG just means is, again, it has that, what do you call it? It has that empty background like that. So this one doesn't even have the word PlayStation in it, just has the thing, which is fine. Now, when I see what I like, I'm going to hold my finger on it here in this window, and I'm going to say Add to Photos, just like that. All right, so then if I do that, and I look in my photo reel, I can see here I have this new one that I have this one, and then I have my drawing, and then anything else you're going to add to your ProCreate drawing is fine. Okay, so now we go to ProCreate. It's the app here. It should be in your self-service. It says ProCreate here. It's a black square with a rainbow swoosh sort of going through it there. You're going to click, plus. You're going to either create a new thing or you're going to say photo, right? And we're going to find our photo here. Let me go to recents. There we go. And I'm going to bring that guy in here. So here's our photograph. I can pinch my fingers on the screen so that I can zoom in and zoom out if I want to, right? Which is kind of a handy thing to have, just like that. So there's my photo. The other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to start to look at layering, right? If I just start to draw here and I start to work right on top of this drawing, I just need to be careful that I don't ruin my original drawing. So here I'm going to keep this as the original drawing. I'm going to click on this these two buttons, these two layered squares up here. These are our layers. So here I can see I have a background color which is white, and then I have layer 1, which is actually my photograph here, and I can make that visible or invisible just like so. So if I make that invisible, I can see my white background. Otherwise I can see just like that. Now, drawing in ProCreate or Photoshop or anything like that, one of the best things that I've found, at least to start with, is to actually draw in reverse. So instead of just taking something and drawing right on top of this drawing, right? So let's say, let me choose a nice bright red color here. I'm going to choose drawing. I'm going to choose this little pine guy here, which is fine. If I started drawing on this, see how I'm coloring over the lines here? And everything eventually disappears. And if my pen is dark enough, it's all going to disappear. Here's undo down here in the bottom left, like so. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to my layers menu. I'm going to say, oops, I made 2 layers there, that's fine. And I'm going to drag a layer. I have to hold down on it a second. And I'm going to drag that layer underneath. So here I'm going to be aware of, let me delete this layer. Rename, clear, clip, clear. No, where's my delete? I can't seem to find it. All right, or maybe, yeah, I just have to swipe left. I have my pen here, so I just swiped left and there was a delete. So I'm going to go to my layer below, and I'm going to draw. But the problem is if I draw, I can't see below my layer, right? So as long as I have black lines and white paper, I'm going to make my drawing invisible. So watch what happens here. I'm going to select layer 1. I'm going to click where it says N, and it's going to ask me some different properties of this particular layer here, and I'm going to say multiply. Now all of a sudden, oops, multiply, there we go. When I see multiply on there, and I draw, oops, hang on, I'm on the wrong layer. Always make sure you're on the right layer. There we go. I'm actually drawing behind the hand, and everything that is white becomes transparent. Everything that is black stays solid, right? And then that varies for grayness, you know, how gray something is or whatever. It varies in opacity. But that's, it's pretty cool, right, the way that works. So again, I'm going to my layers menu. This is the top layer with the hand on it. I'm changing that layer property from normal to multiply, just like that. Bottom one I can leave to multiply, or to normal, it's fine. Then between these two layers, I'm going to select the background layer, and this is the layer I'm going to draw on. All right, so coloring, obviously I showed you up here, this is where your colors are. This is how you choose the color of what you're drawing with. This is how you do the tints and shades here. So you got white over here, you got black over here, and then you got all sorts of different things in between here. So these are the colors that I'm coloring with here. Again, how much patience you have, or how much you can look through all those colors. You can really get into some great details and some interesting things here with these colors. Now the texture of my brush, you'll see this brush that I'm using is fairly textured here. Right, if I zoom in, it gives me a little closer detail here. If I want a sharper point with your brushes, this slider over here is the diameter of your brush. It's your brush size, so bigger brush, bigger marks like that, smaller brush, smaller marks like that. This slider is the opacity. It's the darkness, the darkness or lightness of your brush. So here at the top, let's choose a different color so we can see what we're doing. Full opacity. Down here, hard to even see light opacity. See the way it's slowly fading in there? So that's sort of like your pressure. You know, when we're talking about weighted contour drawing, this is a lighter pressure because sometimes your iPad tablet can't feel that pressure that's on there. Okay, so I am going to turn up my opacity a little bit. I'm going to turn my brush size way up. I'm going to go to yellow, or maybe I'll do like this yellow color here. I'm just going to paint this whole thing in here, just like this. Just painting over everything, just like this. And if you like to, you know, if you don't like this texture, some people are more precise. This is a sort of like a soft pastel almost looking drawing here, like this sort of thing. So like this could be one here, like that. You know, maybe I don't want to, again, spend hours and hours trying to color in each hand like a coloring book. So I have this guy like this. I'm going to go to a different color, and I'm going to use this color here. I'm going to turn down the opacity of my brush here, and I'm just going to paint in some other color here just to give it a little bit of atmosphere. All right, and then maybe I'll go one more color. Maybe I'll even do like a bluish purple here. I'm going to turn my opacity way down, and I'm going to just throw in a little bit of this color. That's maybe too low. Here we go. I'm just going to throw in some of this color in here. Right, just having some fun with that, like so. All right, if you don't like the shape of your brush, this is your brush shape here. There's all sorts of different brushes that you can use. You can see it gives you a little preview of what those brushes look like. Again, no right or wrong there, just have a blast. If you click on the brush itself, it allows you to change some of the properties of that brush. I wouldn't quite get to that yet, so just exit out of that, and then just click the brush again and it disappears. This guy right here is your eraser. We're going to learn about your eraser in just a minute. So that's an important one to do. And again, I'll remind you, you can, see I didn't zoom out my whole picture. So you can zoom in and out, make sure you're getting your whole picture in here like this. All right, from start to finish. Let's get that gold color back. Let's put you out here, like so. And again, a reminder, I'm coloring on that layer below layer one. If I want another layer in here and I want to put some more detail and I don't want to mess up that layer, I just make a layer right above it. And then I can say, all right, I'm going to do green like this. I'm going to go to this brush and I'm going to say painting. I'm going to paint with this flat brush. And I'm going to paint just like that. Oh, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I don't like that, right? So here I can just slide left and I can delete that layer. Super handy, right? All right, so the last thing we're going to do here is, let's say we want to add our logo to this. So under the little wrench over here on the left, right, I'm going to say insert a photo. So I'm going to find my PlayStation photo that I just found. I'm going to use this one, I guess. And here it is. All right, now you can see here the controls change. Right, here, my brushes, all that sort of stuff. So I click on the arrow to make it activate. I'm going to shrink this guy down here, like that. Let's see what layer we're on here. So I put it on this inserted image on this layer here. Something I didn't pay attention to is it makes its own layer. I'm going to hit the select button. I'm going to use the one at the top. I'm going to rotate it a little bit. Oops. And I'm going to throw that guy right in there. All right, like so. I can click on the wrench. I can say copy. I can say paste. I just made another one of these. I can open it up like this, and I can make one a little bigger over here. I turn that arrow off like that. I can say here, I can say paste. I'm going to throw one down here. Maybe I'll turn this one sideways like this, and I'll make this guy a little bit bigger, like that. All right, and again, you're thinking about your composition. You're thinking about how these things are moving through here. I'm going to say paste. Again, trying to balance our composition out here. Let's make this one smaller and put that one. Ugh. Sorry, haste makes waste here. I'm trying to go too fast. There we go, like that. So let's say I don't like this P over the fingers here, right? It's sort of overlapping these fingers right here. So this is where my eraser comes in. Same thing with your eraser, same properties here with your eraser, dark, light. Oops, like so. And if I click on my eraser here, I can select some different brush styles here. I'm going to select the hard airbrush for this one, I guess. And I'm going to erase. Oops. Hang on, I got to make sure I'm in the right image here. No, there it is. It's this one. So see how I did that? I hit it so I could see which one disappeared. It's this one. So I did to make sure I'm on that image. And then I'm going to erase. Just like so. And that way, it looks like that finger is overlapping that logo. And I got this one over here. So I'm going to go to layers. I'm going to figure out which one this is. It's that one right here. So I'm going to click on that layer, close that up, and I'm going to erase. That right behind that finger right there. And then this one right behind the thumb right here. And zoom back out. All right, so that's how you can sort of create that illusion of overlap. And again, you can always add more layers on top. You can go crazy with this. You can do stamps. You can bring in other pictures and things like that. But that's basically how that works, okay? When you are done, oops, you can either go back out to the gallery or you can look here and we can say share. And then here's the type of image that you're going to share. We're going to share out a JPEG for now. That's our best choice. It's going to allow you to figure out where you want to send it to, but I'm just going to say save image, which is right here. It exports it. And then if I look in my pictures again, there it is. There is my picture right there. Now you can see there's a little bit of, it just has sort of a jaggedy edge. It's not the best. That's why starting with a high quality photograph to begin with is important for your resolution. But for what we're doing for this, for ProCreate right now, it should be just fine. All right, so there you have it. Enjoy playing with ProCreate.